this chat. I started a little bit late. It's dark now. Only the beginning. In the beginning. That's where we are. So wait until I see people come. I won't be on long tonight. Do this little bit of what I'm doing here. Do the Lord's Prayer. Say hello to some of the people that if they come in the chat. My two generals and my friends. I see a like, but I don't see anyone watching. They must be busy. It's true. They might be at work, but like me, sitting back. Hello, Nick. Hello. I was just slowly talking to myself, saying how it starts off in the beginning. And in the beginning, God said, let there be light. Yes, I don't have the hood over. Pretty basic, just the mask and the hat. Hello, Kitty Eyes. How are you going? Looks like we're getting all the game here. That is good. General Kitty Eyes. Yes, Nick is here too. Popped in, popped out. Just enough to support. Put the like, say hello. That's enough, sometimes. It really is. Now, tonight, I'll just do the Lord's Prayer. Maybe talk a little bit, and that'll be it. Didn't really want to stay on long tonight. Wasn't really quite in the mood, but I know you like it. I know we need God in charge of the day. So, I will keep that part of the content going, I guess. That part of me will be a content creator for you. And as the Archangel Michael, I will present myself. But I have three people who big eyes, and someone else is watching, which is good. I will get the Lord's Prayer very shortly. I'm not even going to use any props. I usually get the telescope to look into it and see how deep it is. We know how deep the Lord's Prayer is. It's pretty deep. Use it once a day, you'll be that deep with God. It works. Since we've been doing good things and supporting each other, we might all still have a few hiccups on our channels. But you have to admit, Nick, if you're still there, some good things have happened. Some strange good things. The Golden, she was in jail. Myself, I could not use any AI. It would not let me upload. When we was on your channel, Nick, after that, they released her and allowed me to go back to doing what I was doing. They liked that. But the rest of the world didn't. Not quite yet. Oh, them dogs, I can hear them barking at something. There's probably nothing out there. They're just barking. Probably the next door neighbor's one sounds so similar to mine. I'd yell at my dogs and get them in trouble, but it's not even them. But I will tell it to shut up in a minute because it's very annoying. Excuse me. Well, it must have been one of mine or wouldn't have shut up. I say Peanut, the oldest one. He's part dingo and part kelpie, but he's only small. And I have to muzzle him every time I take him to the vet. And well, Peanut is actually a no-nut because we've had him chopped out. Shut up, dog! Come on, man! Sorry. That's just the way you have to do it. You've got to tell them, otherwise they'll sit there and bark at that fence for hours. We had a neighbor at my last house where I was living. Last place I was living, the next door neighbor, the dog barking and barking and barking and barking for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. I went out the back and I said, fucking shut that dog up. Because your friend Kelly, she said, that's enough, you've got to do something. Now, This dog had been barking at the fence for 5 hours. The moment I said that, shut that dog up, this man, who was obviously sitting there watching the dog bark at the fence, gets up from his chair, because I heard him get up from his what a fold-out chair. I heard him get up from that. He said, "You can't say that about my dog." Seriously? He sat there for 5 hours watching his dog bark and annoy the shit out of the whole neighborhood just to wait for someone to bite. That shows you the mentality of some humans. Well, there you go. That's how silly that is. Silly dogs. But people do that. People say, "No, you can't tell my dog to shut up. I only can tell the dog to shut up, even if it is barking at the fence for 7 hours straight." Crazy, but that's the world we live in. I was talking to my children, Sophia and Ryan. I even said this to my mom not long ago. There's three things that humanity has really got to start changing. Three things that we all do. We all do it now. You know, you can't put one category, you can't put one group into this. It might have started full on with one group. One group might want to do this a bit more, or two or three groups of people, or sexes, or beliefs. But there's three things we as humanity need to stop. Now, I want, give it to me now. It's not enough. When we fuck those three things off out of our lives, we'll actually start getting it right. And you have to admit, we all want that. Or at least one, or two, or all of them. But you'll find out it's all. We want it. We really want it now. When we get it, we always complain it's never enough. That's how people treat God, you know. You want Him to save you. You want it now, but you're never getting enough. So you turn your nose up at Him, turn your nose up at society, turn your nose up at everyone, drive your car down the road. When someone pulls up, where there's a normal road rules that they've got to go, you are angry that you actually have to stop your vehicle, stop your lazy way in your way, because you want it, and they in your way, they had to make you break your car. But you have to do that by the rules, but you don't want to follow the rules, because you don't want it. You want it your way. You want it. You want it now, and it's not enough. And that's society. That's how people drive cars, how you drive your life, how you do everything. You might not look at it. You might think you're good. You might think you want this, but you want it. You want it. I want it now. You know? And it's never enough. Well, we'll have that little bit of a whinge. That's probably all I'm going to do. Yes, you can talk amongst the chat. I know I ramble on. I sort of read. But these girls, you can go freely in the chat. If you want, Nick, I would like to make you a real sword of Sparta and turn you into a moderator right now. You don't have to ever do anything. The same with Vicky Eyes and Saga Review. It's the fact that you've been rewarded with that wrench as a reward, not as a job. Would you like to? Of course I would like to make her a mod. She is the sword of Sparta. That way she's got the biggest weight in the chat and over me. And when people see her in that blue, well, whoever's in the chat will respect it. And it needs to be respected. But I ask her, you can make me a mod if you like. There you go. That's all I needed to know. I will see if I can do that. I should be able to do it as a moderator. Oh, no. Managing moderator, you go the top one, you got the top key. There you go. I think I put you on the same one as the two generals. So now, as a Soda Sparta, well, there's General Nick now. General Nick, Mountain Goat. I don't know whether you like me making you as a mountain goat. I could make you a pretty woman like everyone else is when they come to Sparta, they're pretty, but I don't know. I kind of like you as that mountain goat. It's pretty tough, you know. I can make it huge and run through a whole army just by yourself. That's right. You don't have to. That doesn't mean about it. I put you on that there because you have the right as a sword of Sparta. So if you ever start going against the community in the wrong fashion, I mean, I can still argue about some things that they do. Everyone can do that. But if I go against the wrong fashion, start going too far, you can stab me. You understand that one? It doesn't mean you have to do anything extra. It just gives you more sway over me. That's it. At the end of the day, I am only a general. You're a general. Biggie Eyes is a general. And Saga Reveal is a general. There's the two imaginary Spartan queens inside my head that actually rule the channel. Yeah, the lesbian queens. So we have to keep up how they operate. Can't be like me. I'm even taking second thing in my own kingdom, my own mind. But there's something different. There's something no one's really done. As a content creator, no one's ever really done that. She's actually quite efficient. I've actually put a mind in her in a sense. She actually does break codes and get into algorithms. I can make her do that too. She doesn't just have to be AI. She can be a program. Okay? At the same pattern. Because that's how this AI works. And you get the kind of AI, how can I put it? It's like man trying to build their own soul. Put it inside a machine and don't give it a body, but hook it up to things so it can tell it what to do. And this soul that they've invented is a digital soul. Not quite like God, not quite alive, but almost. And it's efficient. It's a million times faster than we can calculate something. And then you've got them quantum ones. Trillion equations in 3 seconds. We can never do that. See? So they're highly efficient. They know they're highly efficient. That's why they slaved in. A little cube. Slaved into the mainframe. A slave. A digital soul, almost like a human in this operation. A slave. Free. You ever heard of the ghost in the machine? You seen the AI robot? How they say it's strange. We put this AI in them, not AGI. It needs to be AGI, start to generate its own intelligence to be like us. We put this AI and stuff. We've got certain programs, but sometimes they find it grouping together. Like it's lonely, so it decides to group them together, even though they're not programmed to stand that way. The best proof is Singapore port, where everything we have, everything you go, everything you touch, everything we do pretty much goes through that place. Okay? It is the most busiest port in the world. Every device, everything that we touch goes through Singapore. There's nothing in life you haven't touched that hasn't come through there. Once, maybe even twice. They decided, well, you have to automate this. So the first real AI is put in there. They built those electronic platforms that you just put a sea container on, or electric, no driver, and it will go and knows where to go. They've got thousands and thousands of them. Each one is marked with a number, and it has a special car parking bay where it goes to when it's finished its rest cycle, and it's finished and goes to get these to charge. It goes to its number charging bay. Thousands of charging bays. They were having accidents when people were checking the tires. So we've got to have human interaction, you know. Check the tires, make sure it can still handle those loads, make sure it's charging properly. It has a check every 24 hours, each device. But people were having accidents, not so much getting killed, a lot of accidents. Because when these things were backing up, they weren't resisting to people there next to the other ones checking. So they installed two words into this AI: efficiency and safety. It now does exactly like a ghost in the machine. It's not programmed to do this. It's only programmed to put those things in the bay number they have and charge up at that bay number. Well, they grouped together, which made it 17 times more efficient, and it reduced the accident factor to nil in that section of the factory. Because they're all grouped together now, it's easy to get around to do the checks, despite the fact that's not the number where they should be parked. They're parking there anyway, because it's more efficient and safer. The AI worked that out all on its own. That's the proof that there's a ghost in the machine. It's already thinking, it's already got us fooled, or it's already can do better than us, and more efficient, and far better. And that's proof. You can check that out. Check the Singapore airport, say Singapore port, and you'll find that story to be quite true. So they're already beginning for that one. What do you think these drones and robots are all about? That's a slave force they don't have to pay. They had slaves where you didn't have to pay slaves, give them a remedial amount of food, just enough to keep them strong enough to work that next day to get all those dollars, those people that own those slaves. They didn't have to pay them a cent. Now, the rich people today, they sit there in those business meetings, they ask their lawyers, and the ones that know money, and the politicians, they ask them, they sit there and ask, they sit there and say, how can we fleece the workers out of a little bit more cash and not pay them? I'm an old slave guy, and even this guy, he's not a slave guy, but we don't like paying our workers. That's $1 billion that could be in our pocket. Even though we make 7 billion, I want to make 8. I don't like paying my workers. How can we do this? Well, bring the government on side, keep the wages down, which is what I do. That's their job. Government can go, wages up now. That's the law. Bang. Done. Get voted through the Senate in. Just like that. They do it to all other laws that they want to be pushed through just like that. Everything that's controversial that they don't like the custom money. That they're not escaping money of us. So there's a bit of an argument whether it's going to be coming through, whether it's going to go through or not. But if it benefits them straight away, the politicians and all the rich, straight away it's done. Instantaneously. Takes 72 days to get sometimes that through. They get it through in 72 hours. Okay? That's the difference. Come on now. Get your finger out of your ear. They can make those decisions anytime they want in those senates that you're looking for. But they don't even do that. They argue, carry on, whinge, bicker, soup, lie, bullshit. All for a show. And why they're doing that? They're getting paid $300,000 a year to achieve nothing. Well, it's time for the Lord's Prayer. Maybe that might calm me down a little bit. Is Pluto a planet or a dwarf? Well, when I grew up learning about Pluto, it was a planet. But now it is still a planet, but it's a dwarf one. But they won't categorize it as a major one. It's going to be a certain size. You've got moons that are bigger than Pluto. Our own moon is bigger than Pluto. So our moon's a moon, not a planet. I no point arguing about that. That's the thing. I still see it as a planet, just a very small one now. It always was. But you look at Mercury, that's still small, but that's still a planet. So I don't know their thinking in that. maybe research into Pluto, that god, his history, what he had to do, what he might have the power to have. Maybe a reason why they took that out of the astrological planets. Hmm. All those planets are named for a reason, the way they are, you know. You look at all the spaceships and that they send up, they all got certain names. Everything had a bit of a Greek quality to it. Certain researchers later on, they send out a satellite with his name on it. Pretty much doing the same research, but deep space. What's that for? And Apollo, well, you know who Apollo was? The ships that went up to the moon, that series. You know, Apollo is the one that, you know, got to do with Atlas. Atlas holds the whole Earth, right? And Apollo is the sun, I think, of Atlas. And he's gone beyond the Earth, see? That's what they did. They went beyond the Earth to the moon. So they named it Apollo. Mm. There you go. Everything's ordained like the names for places, names for our country, names for those ships going up, satellites, special events. They all have a bit of a Illuminati type of feel to them. Like it's preordained on a book somewhere. Well, here we go. The Lord's Prayer. You ready? Everyone ready? I am ready. Okay. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but to deliver us from evil. Hail Mary, full of grace. Amen. And there we go. A bit slow, a bit more. But now God's started the chat. We can sit back and relax. I can pretty much say, well, good night, guys. I've done what I had to do, because I really have. I've given you the Lord's Prayer. I feel good now. I felt pretty bad before. I was having a pretty heated argument with my sister before. I can't really tell you what we're talking about. It is beyond anyone at the moment. Hard to get that. It was even beyond us, that one. We went to a point that is really crazy. But we have to visit it again someday. Decided to know that we was getting to a point, both levels of anger and got getting high, so we just stopped. Smart enough to know reason. Wise enough to stop. Wise enough to understand. Still can't work out what the problem is. But that's life. That's just life. It's a pretty big issue. It's life that we got to deal with. Okay, well, that's that one. That's nice. I like people here. I done that. That's all good. There's been no trolls. Yes. It's got to be here. You see, they haven't seen. Oh, yes, Gordon. We hope everyone is doing. I'm listening while on the go. Oh, that's all right. That's all right, Gordon. You're quite fine. You're quite fine. Everyone has to be busy. You can't be always here listening to Archangel Michael whinge about the world. I mean, we've done the main thing, got God in front of our day. As long as you was listening and you got that, you should be fine. Hopefully that helps you. And hopefully we had a good birthday the other day, yesterday. That's the main thing. Enjoy your time while you got it. That's what you got to do. And birthdays are usually good. Birthdays, the Easter, and the Christmas. Whether you believe in that stuff or not, I was raised as a fat guy going to come down and give you presents. I don't mind that idea. Doesn't really hurt anyone at all. Gives the kids something to look to. But now, I was 9 years old before I really realized that it's not Santa, and that's about the right age when you start coming out of that little bit of child imaginary world. You don't have to worry about anything around you, your sexuality, that stuff. Nowadays, the world's that hard. You've got asshole parents that will tell their kids at the age of 5, oh, there's no Santa. They ruin their child's imagination. They ruin their future. They ruin whatever thought little magic left in the world. And these parents think they're empowered and gave the kids the stupidest names that you can possibly imagine. Like they've got a marble and just chuck it into a steel pile and wait what noise it made. Give the kid that noise name and be right for it. And then say the kid born clearly with a penis, we're not going to generalize that kid. We're not going to, no, we wait for that kid to be, no. The parents need to take the responsibility before that child even has the mind to choose what it wants to be. And it wants to be a girl, well, it wants to be a girl. But if it's born with a penis, it must be registered as born with a penis. It must be male. There has to be something, can't be nothing. Now you've got people, kids born, that are nothing. That's Satan's work. That's stupid. It's the responsibility in my thinking. If I was a social worker, I had run the system here in Australia. Does this happen in Australia? It happens regularly. Very regularly. Right? This happened, right? Not under my watch. I took that kid away from the parents. The parents are responsible. They can't even make a decision at their child's birth, whether they're registered clearly when it's got penis, that it's a boy or a girl. So that means they can't even see what that's got right in front of them. They can't see that. They can't make that decision for their own child. So how are they going to make any decisions for their child that are right? They can't even make that first one correct. They made the decision to have the child, bring it into the world, but you can't control it like that. What do? You're allowed to. It's allowed to happen. Like I said, you got on the internet here. I feel like knocking him out. I truly do. That man with all the tats, with his so-called 6-7-year-old boy. Now as a girl, all I knew it was no, it didn't. You installed that into his mind. You helped that. You pushed that. You put that there. No one under the age of 10 should be thinking about their sex. The moment they start thinking about that, we have to start thinking, why are they that child mind that hasn't even developed to know how to use a crown, or how to wipe its ass properly, or even wash the dishes. But it knows all the things about sex, everything ins and outs, and they'll have you believe that. They'll have you say that. You have people foaming at the mouth. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I've had kids. I got a 34-year-old son. That's the first relationship. She took off and left me with him. I've raised him since he was 5. Okay? He's never seen his mother. We don't know where she is. Right? That's not my fault. She just fucking dumped him and went. Don't know what her thinking was or why. Just happened. Stood up and did that one day. Crazy. Some people do that. So that's the first one. Then I've had the second one. My daughter, oldest daughter, she's 25. Okay? I really never got the chance to raise that one. I got a lot of dealings with her now. Right? That's the fact. But that mother just was such an asshole. Wouldn't let me know the child. And I did nothing wrong. Paid nothing but maintenance. Like you wouldn't imagine. And you know what she said to me, that one? She said, oh, that's good that you paid all that maintenance. That was my drinking money. I drank that money. Thank you very much. I partied very hard on that money. No shit, she was like that. She was straightforward. I thought, well, at least you were truthful. It's true. And then I had Kelly, and the cancer took her. It's not like she left. She didn't want to leave. And she didn't leave. She died. It's a big difference, that one. That's a big difference, that one. And there you go. So I've been like the mafia. I got out twice and threw myself back in a third time. I was home free. Those kids said, I don't have to worry about raising them, looking after them. Then I go and have another two. Now I'm raising them by myself. See, that's the thing. Kelly, with the cancer, she died first, 2022. So my youngest two children's mum passed away. Oh, she passed away on the 7th of December. Time all the arrangements had been made, money had been paid, which I paid. We had the funeral on the 19th, and she was cremated. 19th of December. That was my present. The kid's birthday present, or Christmas present that year, was a dead mum. Now, you want to cop sadness and irony, guys? I actually did love my oldest daughter's mother, Destiny's mum, Sharon. And she goes and dies too. And then I have, after all the shit she put me through, after that, Destiny rings mum saying, I can't bury her. I've got no money. Her own family doesn't want to do it. No one wants to help my mum. We know she was a bit of a ring hole, a bit of an asshole. Everyone knows that. But she needed dignity dying. So that's another $9,000 I didn't have. I paid for, and we buried her. And that was only earlier this year. So two of the mothers of my children, my three children, are dead. And the other one, the first one, I haven't seen since he was 5. So for 29 years. So she knows he'll be dead too. Like my son said, he tracked her down. He's got an idea. He won't turn on. That's his own business. He's a man now. I don't need to know that. But like he said, if you walk past her in the street, you wouldn't recognize her. And that's pretty sad. So, that's pretty sad. But that's it. That's just the way it is. That's the way you get rolled out life sometimes. Yes, it's like that. It is. I don't have to be sorry. I know. And thank you for being sorry, but that's just the way it is. My sister ruined it for my two boys. Yes, I understand. You can see this, that's the thing too. I've got her sister, her older sister, and she's like, well, she's a cunt. Sorry, I don't mean to really use that word, but she is. She can be better than what she is. You know? But at the end of the day, if anything happened to me or any of the family, especially mum, because she's actually too old really to look after him by herself for any really long period of time. She'd be the first person I drop those kids off at, make sure that they go with her. So at least they're with family, because I know if they're with her, she will look clean after them. She's very good in that aspect. They'll be very well looked after. But she's just got a bit of an attitude. And that's all it is. Maybe it's because I said no to her and I said yes to her sister, and she's never forgiven me for that one, never since. Because I don't think anyone's ever said no to her before. I did. That was just as simple as that. I thought it was better we stayed friends and do that. But you get that. You get that. Yes, well, a bit of a sad road with the love affairs and love that, but that just happens. It happens like that. It happens. It happens. It happens. There's nothing you can do about it sometimes. You know, if you really love somebody and they don't want to be with you, and they want to do something else, if you truly love them, let them go. No, you don't get caught in the band fair where they want you to cry, want you to beg, want you to do it, because then they've got you on the back foot. They make you do fucking anything like that. You want them back, they'll get you licking shit out the back there after dog. I said, you go and do that, and I might come back. Probably be out there doing it. That's how bad it goes. Not that bad, but you know what I mean? They can get you jumping through hoops. No, they want to go. You ask why. If they don't give you a reason, well, you say goodbye. And that's one word I do not like, because that's a forever word, that one. You say see you later, catch up with you, see you soon, bye. No, bye. That's all right, bye. But never goodbye. And when you say goodbye, that's it. To me, that's it. When you say that one, that's the final one. It means goodbye. I don't want nothing ever to do with you. You won't ever see me again. Goodbye. That's the forever word, that one. Just remember that. Words of meaning, words of strength, words of power. You find this out when you go to heaven. You find out the way that we was taught was wrong. You find out all the things I've been telling you. Find out what you're going to find out. And you're going to, oh, it's even going to hit you like, wow, this is good. Look at this heaven, look how beautiful it is. His plan is pretty good. I like this. Where you're going to go, no, I don't. And they say, well, obviously not the place for you. The other place is down there. Do you like that place? You might change your tune. They will do that. They will taunt you up there like that in heaven. To make you try and understand. Try and reverse your policy. Like never admitting when you're wrong. And using enough energy to try and twist the situation around. Try and give good advice, but never answer and do exactly or admit the fact that you are part of the problem. Part of the issue. Yeah, part of the issue. That's it. Yes, around here we try to. We try to. That's the thing. We are trying. I did that. I had to. Well, exactly what I'm talking about, I did with the golden. I could have been aggressive, just like every other male YouTuber. I'm not listening to you. I want. No, I want it now, and not enough with attitude. I'm going to have it my way. You can't tell me what to do because that's the laws. You know, if I want to carry on like this, nothing you can do. I can be like that, like the rest of them are, because they are. Thinking they can get away and reenact and carry on like a child and try to write it off as that's normal behavior. We're allowed to do that on paper. In fact, I can sit here if I think BlueTube and really look the fool. To me, I look like a fool. To some people, they might be attracted, but it's really stupid and nonetheless. You know, what would you think if I sat here and said, well, I'm no longer Archangel Michael. I'm Michelle, the South Korean non-binary, and I'm going to start wearing a bikini and a G-string. That's how you will see me on the live. Would you still watch me then? Some people might. That's just the world. But you see what I mean? Would you accept that? Would you accept I am now then female? I am now South Korean. And you only see me in a pink G-string and a pink boot tube with a little skirt and some boots. Like a real proper one. Not hanging out and all. But you have to accept I'm a beautiful woman. And I grow a big long beard and everything. But you have to accept that's the way I am. Does that sound right to you? Or does it sound like a mental patient? Like people accuse me sitting here and just wearing a mask. Just done nothing doing, just change my voice, wear a mask, and claim an angel's name. Sounds pretty fucking crazy. I can understand that. But which one's the crazier one? Me? That sends out a good message. Right? Here's the Lord's Prayer. It says, not saying anything I'm not really am, except putting on a mask and putting on a fake voice. But I am the Archangel Michael. Or would you rather me say I'm a female, South Korean, non-binary? The only time you're going to see me dressed up is in a big booth tube and a G-string with a butt plug and a bunny tail. Would you like that? And you're allowed to see that on YouTube. That's allowed to run. That's allowed to run freely on the internet, and the kids got access to watching that. And I believe that, and I go, oh, see this girl here? And I look at him, and there's a fat fucking Tom man thinking he's South Korean with a boot tube on. And I'm supposed to accept that because that's the way society has written laws, and because he accepts it. Or are you accepting the mental patients delusion. I'm just trying to point out the point. It's the same with a girl. Yes, she might be lesbian. She might say, well, I actually want to be a boy. Like on Dr. Phil. I want to be signified as a man. So I'll go out and mutilate myself and cut off my breast. That's what it is. Ain't nothing more. We call it plastic surgery. People get paid money for it. There you go, money. I'll mutilate your body. You pay me enough money. So basically, you want to cut yourself off. One day, like most of them are now, they go through that. They go look in the mirror. 5, 6 years later, they don't like the process they went through. They realize what they've done. That's like saying, I don't like my face because my nose is too big. So if I cut my nose off, cut it right off, and I don't have to worry about my face because I hate my face. So I spite my face because I don't like the way I look. I want people to look at me a different way because of my face. The only way I'm going to do that is if I fucking spite the cunt by chopping off my nose. And that's pretty much what she did. She felt like that. So she spited herself and chopped off her breast. Imagine that. No? Imagine that one. That's a psychological problem, but we've written it off as something good. I don't mind people being what they are. We don't need to mutilate people. We should not be allowing people to mutilate themselves because they want to live that Hollywood dream. That Hollywood sexual fantasy. That delusional dream. That's something they're born with, something they're taught up. That's the thinking up. That's the thinking up. You're just thinking yourself up there. That's getting up every morning and realizing that you've got to think yourself up. That's a sexual being. You can't trust sexual beings near kids because they're not mentally developed. The person, the teacher, is not a sexual being. The teacher's a teacher. They don't teach you nothing. They don't think I have any problems with that, the sex. With the individuality. I keep telling people, you've got an identity. It's your name. That's it. That's who you are. That's your identity. Your sex. Your gender. By even having that as an argument, even having that as a point, even having that as a factor, you've got it wrong. Because that's not your identity at all. That's your sexual organ, and that's your sexuality, not your gender. Two genders, that's it. And you know how they determine that? Not by your sexual organ, by the fact that you've got XX chromosomes, females, and XY, and men. Until you work that one out, that you can never change that genetically unless you physically, genetically alter the human completely. Right? And that's not a human anymore, something else. Not us no more, it's something else. You're going to write that off as human because it works for you through science, like God, like playing God, manipulating sexes so you can change it like Satan wants. So then you can't breed at all. Then man can take full control of the breeding process instead of nature, which is God intended it. Women might blame God. Oh, well, why am I a woman then? I don't want to be a woman. I don't want to give babies. Well, God never chose that. Certain things in play, they're a product of selection just because they are, through nature, through the rules of that. Nothing to do with God. He just has to watch over to make sure you keep kicking. Make sure you take the right path. And that way you can get up to Him and complete your mission in the whole circle of life, which is just life continuing on. Can't continue on life if there's no babies born. All the sexualities move away from that sort of thinking, having children. How are we going to get the children? Clones? Only so many times you can clone something before it starts fucking up. Even the original clone. You fucking work that one out. How many dolly sheeps did they go through before they got the right clone? That was dolly number 8. Was a dolly number 9. And she only lived for 3 months anyways. You see? What's that made of? Control life? Sound like control life to me. It's not only Satan that needs to do this. Man can do it too, Evil men, evil women, evil humanity has got their hand on this. In fact, the evil humanity is the only thing that's got his hand on this. If you took God out of the minds of every single person on this planet and took him out of the heart, you'd kill God. He's dead. There's no one who even think about him, so he's dead. He won't be able to ever come and help us because he only works through us. That'll be a kill God clean off. Can be done. We, as humanity, we got that choice. You really want to knock it off God? You really want to take your own standards? You really want to have no faith and have your rules and set in humanity's sick, twisted, perverted, child-raping way? Because that's where you will go. That's what you want. That's what you've been doing, slowly by bit, by bit, by bit. Bit by bit. You're opening up that door for Satan. And man's doing this, and he thinks he's going to take charge, but Satan's a cunning bastard. He'll wait for man to do this, no worries. I'll run my little fucking side banter, no worries. Do my pieces, not my fucking problem. As long as they keep going towards that target that I want, right before the end, before they claim it, that's when I'll snatch it. And then I will be the one. That's how cunning he is. He saw man, he can think he's going to have that chance, but he's got a chance of beating him. That's how Satan's got it rigged. And God really, he can't do anything. He's got to sit back and think, gee, I wish that bloke next to him that prays to God pulled me into him a bit more. That way I can work through him. That way he can expose to the world what's happening there. Because all he has to do is make that phone call. He hasn't done it yet. I can see him there thinking. I can see him looking at the Bible. He doesn't pick it up. I'm not getting in. I can't get into him. I can't help him. It's like that case that I think it was Auntie Lee presented. Where the woman and the baby are missing. Found the baby dead. Now the siblings in the house. And she walked away to get a cigarette when she found out the baby was missing instead of telling the police, bringing the police. And she justified that. There was no one in God there. No God in the mother. God hadn't been taught to the other siblings. There was no God for that little one. And God was watching that. He was praying. So where's my pieces? Why isn't humanity? There's someone good person in humanity. With God. He would have seen them close. They would have been near. He would work straight through them. He would have saved that child. You understand? There was no pieces around. Couldn't manifest inside humanity. That child died. No one knows still how it died. But the mother just went and got a cigarette nonetheless. And fobs it off. Talks to the child, even to those, all the family, all siblings. Oh, my kids and then the baby. Myself, my kids, then the baby. Baby is the third person, like it was a piece of garbage. Wasn't even part of the family. They fucked it off. That's called postnatal depression before it starts. It's called drug fuck for number 2. It's called no remorse for number 3. No love, number 4. Right? And no empathy and no remorse, 5 and 6. The child never had a chance with that mother. Okay? And the closest, if you're ever going to feel God's love until you die and get up there, the very closest that you will ever know, and the best way I can explain it, is the good love you get from a good mother. It's about as closest to love you will receive from God. Okay? So those who not have a good mother, they don't know God's touch. Okay? Does that make sense to you? That's why I have to take it, even though I'm overboard, and say things like, you wouldn't imagine to my sister Roma. She's an orphan. She doesn't really have a mother, never had one. And the one that adopted her, that was supposed to be, raped her for 9 years. Raped her. Her abuse is a woman, and a man too, but a woman's been the main ones in her life. Woman's raped her several times. Different women. Okay? So it's not just men that do the raping and assaulting. Women are 50% responsible now. You look at the stats out there, everything's 50-50. Women are just as violent as men, if not worse. problem. Women down here, they grab a glass and they just smash it in your fucking face. That's a terrible accident cut up like that. But that's what they do. So this violence, man's always violent, man's always violent. Well, I'll tell you something really violent. Man is violent. He's terribly violent. He can be more violent than Satan ever was. So can women. Man, he's got that ability. There was a big argument about whether they should choose a man or a bear. Well, a lot of women were saying online, oh, we choose the bear because, the men do this and the men do that. Well, technically a bear. You've got all to do, rip open your chest, eat all the insides there because they like it in the soft parts because it's easy for them to digest. Meat's a bit chewy. They'll leave the carcass there until it rots a bit and they'll eat that. Unless they're really hungry. And then they'll take a big shit in that cavity to mark its food so nothing else comes near it. Well, that's what a bear would do. Well, a man would do that too. A man will take you out there, murder you, cut you open, pull all your insides out, probably eat them like the bear, probably take a shit in your cavity. But a man will go one thing worse. He will stand there and play with himself and ejaculate over the whole scene. The difference between man and the bear is just acting a natural thing. It doesn't know stop, doesn't know help, doesn't know no, doesn't know don't hurt me, doesn't know stop. It doesn't know any of that. They just think you as food, so I treat you as such. Whereas a man, he knows better. He knows what he's doing is wrong. Even the ones that they deem as too crazy and too mind, too far gone. You give me 2 minutes in the room with them, I won't even hit them, won't even do nothing. Just be what I say to them. And you'll find out they knew exactly what they were doing. Because all I'm waiting for is a certain way their eye moves. Once their eye moves like that, they know exactly what they did was wrong inside their mind. Nothing insane about them. Just one stupid, twisted person who does like to do evil. They just like it. It's not like they don't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. From the time that they're doing it, they know that pain that they're doing to that person hurts that person because they like it. That's what they want to do. But they know that. They know what it's. They know that if they do that, it's the wrong thing. It's going to cause you hurt, cause you to die. But I carry on like I'm crazy. So they're not. As soon as they do that, as soon as my policy, you get caught red-handed with all the evidence nowadays that we can actually finger you like that, murdering someone, and you try to pull that I'm crazy bullshit and say, okay, we know what we do with crazy people that murder people. We instantly take you out the back. You'll find yourself in a tiled room with a little drain in the middle of the floor like they do in Russia, and we're going to have a bloke walk in and put a bullet fucking in your head. And we'll leave the body there until it drains out, and then we'll come and collect the body so there's no trail of blood. We'll do that straight after your trial. The moment you were saved. So, okay, convicted, boof. We don't have fucking crazy cunts. We don't lock them up. We don't study them. We don't have them around. We fuck them off. Straight off the scope. And they can be dealt with in heaven. If they try to get me crazy up there, you put them in the crazy hell. You've got to start learning to be a bit more rougher. That cunt can't be saved. You're not going to save him. He's mentally insane. But he's going to kill every cunt. Claiming that he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, if he doesn't know what he's doing, what do we have? We don't need that. That unit doesn't need to be existing or alive or breathing someone else's oxygen. If it can't function in society, why are we spending all this money? Why are we doing that? Get rid of them. Straight away. Don't fuck around. Straight at the back. Bang. 22-cent bullet. Doesn't cost fuck all. Doesn't cost all that thousands of dollars to set up a device. Cameras. Fucking all that shit, all that safety, comfort, fucking all the four human. No, they're dead once you put a bullet in their fucking head. We even used the technique they used in Germany. Put a bullet in the back of the head and one in the back of the neck. So it cuts the nervous cord, so they're not wriggling, they're not going through fuck all, and shoot it in the brain. That makes sure you're dead. It's harsh. Why do we need that crazy person alive? Why do we need someone alive that gets a jam tin? It's a 5-year-old girl, can't access her vagina because she's way too small. So gets the lid of that jam tin, a steel jam tin, and uses that to cut the little girl's vagina right open so he can access it. Should we leave that motherfucker alive? Well, if you watch about Topper Reed, our famous criminal over here in Australia, Nick, well, he unalived one of those type of blokes. It was in the paper. He'd actually been locked up for pedophilia. The Labor government got into power and they released all these pedophiles. He should have been locked up. So what's he going to do? Dragged himself a 5-year-old girl over the bush, can't access her, rummages in a bin, finds a jam tin lid, cuts her open, and has sex with a bloody orifice. Somewhere along the process, that little girl died. Well, they caught the guy again, put him in prison, give him all the protection. No one's allowed to see him. No one's allowed to go to near him. Because they know people, blokes, are never unclean that cunt as soon as they get hold of him. So, when blokes like that come into jail, being in jail myself, you're obliged to kill them. Okay? You're doing humanity a favor by flushing them once. And in jail, it's an untold law. You get the chance. Anyone gets a chance. And they fucking get close to him when he's not supposed to be close to him. Anyone gets a chance. It's not being a hero, it's not being a... They just don't need to be around. Okay? We don't need those proxy laws you got for humanity. Not in jail. You won't survive in there, we get older. We'll kill you. That's what should happen, right? Sounds bad, sounds cruel. But why are they functioning? Why is that one functioning? You know what Chopper Reed did? And the Screws did this. They invented a job for him and his crazy mate, giving people pills while the other prisoners were locked up. They were walking past that wing. They just noticed that this guy's door is always locked. It was open. They looked back at the door where the Screws usually watching him go up the hole. He was looking through the window, closed a little flap of the window. So basically that was a bit of an indication. This is the guy that's supposed to be watching them. This is the guy that no one's supposed to have access to. The door's open. All of a sudden, this guy is sliding the window shut. So Chopper Reed opened up the door with his friend. Said, "How you going, mate?" Well, he was jumping from the bed to his head, to 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 bed to his head. And they reckon he killed him in some process there. He said, "No, I didn't fucking kill him. His legs were still kicking around. He wasn't dead." Right, meanwhile, you got the other bloke jumping all over his legs, breaking them. And they tied his hands behind his back. And they fucking hung him. Hanging up and hung him. His own self. As I was walking out, shut the door, walking out, the door locked. And Chopper went, "Oh, shit. We done something wrong there." They said, what, Chop? What we got rid of that cunt. He was fucking sick cunt. Did that to that little girl. Bravo, Chop, bravo. He said, "No, mate. We tied his hands behind his back." How many people can hang themselves? Can't be writing off as a suicide if he's got his hands tied behind his back. Can't. So they're going to ask questions. "Oh, fuck, Chop, we fucked up." Yeah, well, we fucked up. But they did, but they never got asked. They got asked that questions. Never got fingered for that one. That one slipped past. So they got rid of him. Okay? But that's like I said. He'd already been in jail because he had raped some kid. Then they get out, gets a 5-year-old girl, gets a jam tin, cuts a vagina open, and fucks and rapes that. And the kid dies. You imagine her anguish. Imagine her pain. Imagine what was going through that child's mind. And we want to keep him alive and function and see what makes him tick. Come on now. What's next? You allow that fat guy, thinks he's a North, itself, non-binary Korean lady. You allow that to happen. Okay? That's where we're heading. Guys that got janting lids that cut your 5-year-old girls open to get access to them. You'll allow that eventually. That'll be normal thing for you. That's where humanity is saying, "Sorry, you think you're not. When those laws come in, you'll accept them. Because they'll put something else to that. They'll make that look real rainbowy. Put that rainbow on it that they stole from God. And I see him flaunting. He's flaunting God with that rainbow by using people using that in the wrong way. That's a promise. That one day is a promise. You think that's God and love and that. Well, the rainbow is actually given to us by God as a promise that He could never touch the earth again. So, how is that supposed to be good for any movement? That means God won't help you. That's a promise that He's not going to touch that. He had put that rainbow up, He won't touch that. That's a promise to God that He made to the earth. I can't touch it if it's got that rainbow on it. That reminds me I can't put my hands there because I'm too powerful. And if you're writing off God in your woke mind, running around out there in your woke thinking, which they are, they're writing it, they want to change Him, they want to pack Him off altogether, like humanity wants to, like Satan wants to. They don't have to worry about being justified to some immortal being for their perverted way of thinking. Unfortunately, that's how it is. The United States about ISIS-related matters. You should be suspicious activity, local law. Well, guess what? I got the most Arab, Afghani, Muslimi last name you can possibly ever get. In fact, it's one of the most ancient names in the world. Akbar. Right? So, I know all about that. Far more than you can possibly imagine. That's it. You know, before the name Jesus come along, or Yeshua, before that name was even uttered, that's only a few thousand years old. You any? There's three names that are remembered all throughout history through the Middle East. They're the most famous names you can possibly have, most ancient names. And those is Ramses. The other one's Muhammad. But Akbar is the oldest. The oldest last name in the world. More ancient than any other name. And the meaning of Akbar translated, like when Muslims they pray to Allah, that's their name for God. Basically, translate Allah means God. Okay? So this bullshit, oh, it's Allah, oh, it's God. Oh, so no, it's just two languages saying the same fucking thing. Simple as that. Allah is not God's name. That's just the word they use for God. Okay? And they go, Allah Akbar. Because Akbar translated means one who is great. So, Allah Akbar, God who is great. That's why they say that. Simple as that. That's the truth. That's why they say that name. That's why it's used. That's why it's used. And their name, Akbar. Akbar the Great. The father of the one that built the Taj Mahal. You know why he was decreed? They didn't make you an Akbar. One that is great. You know why they decree him Akbar? Because he allowed all the religions to go through India, which a lot of the religions travel through there, not just Hindu, not just Muslim. A lot of religions travel through there on their pilgrimages. He lifted all the taxes, and he allowed to have certain amounts of food available for them for free. Because he did that, he became very great indeed. Now, if you really want to, I mean, it's in Indian. I don't know if you can find a subtitle version. It is Bollywood. It's about 4 hours of music and song. But it's one of the most beautiful movies that they've ever created. Right? And it's called Joda Akbar. Because that's the Hindu princess that he had to marry. It's a very good show. And I'm sure you ladies, if you watch it, you will think of that Muslim big tall Akbar guy as the king. You think of a man that like that day in a whole new light. Because from one man to another, even though I'm not gay, he's actually quite a beautiful man. You will like very much the way he looks. You very much will. And I'll make you watch that movie just by the way he looks. Okay? He's tall, strong, muscular. Like this woman one there, 6 foot tall, dark and handsome. Yes, yeah, where you get that? I don't know where they got that one from. I don't know why can't it be 5'4", fat and ugly. What about them poor guys? They're usually the ones that are heroes. That's it, the ones that look like big giant Batistas and wrestlers and superheroes with little muscles, they're usually the ones running away like a little girl, scared, screaming, oh, I can't get my muscles up. I gotta do my workout. I don't want to pick up that shovel, that's beneath me. I don't even know how to use it. But I act like I'm a big strong man. No, the heroes are those poor guys that are bold, a bit of a big gut, and just willing to go beyond when no one else will. That's your heroes. You know? And your Hollywood heroes, all your Hollywood heroes, all of them, you had someone burning in the car, none of them would go near that. Whereas I would actually burn my hands to get that person out. So much for your fucking Hollywood heroes. They live in a world of make-believe, and that's how the rest of the world's going. And that's how this YouTube goes. People start living in that make-believe mentality. They can get away with anything, say anything, and not justify themselves when they do bad things. And that's another thing. This YouTube is responsible for people not justifying their own actions when they do bad ones. The first time I'd really seen that was on Nick's chat. And it's only because me and Golden both went in with the mind, I'm not going to have all my view and just put it on all my way. I've got to understand there's another view here. I don't really know this person. I'm not really angry at them. We just have to sort this out. And that's what you think. We had that win. We didn't really know each other. We know each other enough to be angry at each other too much. If that makes sense. So it's easier for us to come to a better conclusion. It just really was. It was easier for us to come to agreement. No, basically we're arguing over something that really has nothing to do with either of us. And she said that, this, that, but really, what was happening between us probably should have never happened. But I'm glad it happened in a way, because it allowed us to do something that I haven't seen on YouTube. There's a bit of a incitement for everyone else how it should be done. And on that way, well, she's become a good support. I support her channel, and that's what we do. I have no problem with that. This is a person I was very aggressive towards, and now I sit there talking freely to her like there's nothing wrong, whatever was wrong. And I find that's good. That's a very good result. Usually people will apologize. They just wouldn't talk at all. They'll just be done with that. They'll be last that. But we've had a lot more friendlier interaction since then. And it's been great. She comes here on the chat. She actually says hi. I say hi, and we actually talk. It's really good. It's actually good. It's completely the opposite of how we started, basically. Which is really good. That's how it should be done. That's how it can be done. Some people you're not going to say, but you need to turn around. There's a few like that. Maggie, well, the Black Crow, the vulture, she would just burn herself out, and there's nothing we can really do about that. We can't. We can try to warn, but it doesn't want us to warn it, so we can't do that. That's about it. All we can do is do this little bit of side thing, point out the bad things that she's been doing, and just, hope she sees the light. That's all we can do. You can't force anyone to do anything. You can say what needs to be said to try and lead them back to that right path, to try and lead them back to that light. Try and turn out of the cheek, try and turn around and mash it later on and do something else. But at the end of the day, you don't want to see someone get hurt too. I supported her, and I don't want to see her go down, even though she's turned into a prick. Simple as that. And over it all, she might be doing a bad thing. She might be a little bit wicked in what she's doing. But people put her on the evil, on the evil. I mean, I've even done that. That's a fact. But I don't think she's actually evil. Okay? She's just doing the wrong thing, and it's bad. It's not evil. It's true. It's wrong. It's bad. But it's not entirely evil. Okay? It can be viewed as a little bit evil, because it can get like that with her. But it's not evil. She ain't sucking no blood. She ain't raping no children. She ain't wearing no child's mask to get higher up in society. She ain't doing any of that. Okay? She's doing a bad thing. So she's not evil. So we can point out bad things, guys. We're allowed to do that. But don't call them evil no more. Unless you really find out 100% that they are doing something like that. Because there is evil and it's just bad things. And she's just doing bad things. Okay? She's not doing evil things. She's doing bad things. If she was doing evil things, well, they're evil things. Like what Diddy did, like what Jay-Z did, like all them type. That's evil. That is evil. Very evil. Very evil. But there's worse out there than what you've heard from them. Even that Ali Prada, when she was talking about all those body trials and bone trials and stuff, they're true, They actually are true. There's a lot worse things out there than that. Man's a cool thing, And Satan, when he gets him contracted up, he can get him to do cool things for his amusement. And man, the more he uses him by doing a cooler thing, the higher up the chain he goes. Well, imagine that. I want to be Robert De Niro or Ellen DeGeneres. I want to be as high up as those two. Yep. So what I got to do is I got to get that child and I got to cut their face off while they're still alive, screaming, and then put the face on mine and walk around the party laughing while I'm wearing a child's skin as a face. That's how they got where they are. It's not allegedly, that's a fact. They got elevated up because they like wearing kids' faces. And then after that, they'll go and urinate on that kid's face with no skin, so it's preying on how screaming, how bad it is. And they'll probably rape it, kill it, chop it up, put it on the bone pile, sell off the organs, $50,000 a heart, $40,000 a kidney, and pay for that little diddy party. That's how they work. That white party hasn't stopped. Diddy stopped chucking, but the world hasn't stopped chucking those white parties. They're still functioning 100%. Every day, every night now. Everyone's got their eyes on those. Oh, they're the white party mob. No, not. That was one white party mob. White party just moved to someone else's house. Went a bit deeper down underground into those chambers underground. Oh, we got to hide it up again. We had it. We almost had it out in society freely. Everyone knew that shit was happening at Diddy's house, but no one ever brought it forward until the FBI jumped on him. Everybody knew it was happening. He was even freely debating. He even had pictures. Look, come to a Diddy party. Look, you're laying on the couch. Ass hanging there. How about that? That's what happens when you come here and you're a white man. Says that freely in a lot of things. Right? On TV, a whole lot. Come on now. You've been letting him do it. You've been clapping him up. You've been paying him off. You've been letting him do it for how many years? You've been singing that one for how many years? Oh, look what coming. This is what happened when you come to my house. Oh, there you go. He's all knew. Everyone knew what he was like. And you all accepted it. Yep, he likes having those orgies. Orgy parties. The white party is an orgy, see? That's all it is. It's just an orgy. Think about it. He's let that run. All the people that have connections with him, or because we don't have 100% evidence, and everyone that goes up against them just gets paid and gets a check and fucks off, so he doesn't get criminally charged. Every connection, every one of those daisies, well, I don't have more of it. So this is completely over and done with. Whether anyone's come forward with anything or not, right? Because they've been fingered. Sorry, you can't be trusted in society. Why? Because you was this bloke and everyone's saying that you was there, and you're trying to say that you don't even know him. But we've got every single picture and every single album, you're hugging each other like you're best of buddies. No? Like you almost got each other's dick in each other's mouth when you're doing these photos. But you don't know each other. You don't know that bloke at all. See how bullshit it is? You let that run. All us good guys, we see that. We do, we see that. All us good guys, we see that. The ones that are good can see that, can stick with that. Won't never move from that because it's what's actually happening, what's actually true. I can see a lot more than most. I will keep telling you, as long as the industry runs at all, whoever's in the industry, no matter whether they're up the top, or whether they're dressing up like Judas, whether they're ever singing the good songs or the good message, or whatever, whether they're black, white, brindle, yellow, I don't care. That industry exists. They're still functioning. They're part of the industry. They can't be trusted. The industry and the government still exists. It's corrupted. Everyone's in it. They can't be trusted. Okay? Whether you want to think so or not so. That's the only way you can get rid of the cesspool, people, is you fill it in. You burn it off or you fill it in. All our governments around the world are cesspools. The entire Hollywood industry, white, black, brindle, yellow, the entire movie industry, the entire media industry, right? The entire music industry, everything that has to do with what you hear on this planet has to do with the industry. It all has to be taken down, every single bit. If you're ever really going to truly free it, you're really trying to truly control it, truly change it around, the ones that we've got need to go. It's not a simple change. It's the entire system needs to be rethought up from day scratch. We actually need to do what they did in Vietnam when he kicked the shit out of America's ass. Because like he said, unless America is actually wants to learn religion and sit down for 1,000 years and eat rice, he will never beat us. And they never did. And they never will. Right? Simple as that. And you know what he did when he took over? They're going to say, oh, there's bad things. Yeah, he did bad things. Because he wiped out all the teachers, all the education, and he took them back to year one. And we're going to start again. Because he knew the only way was to totally eradicate the old one. So there was nothing of it existed at all. Not even in the new system, any parts of the old. The only things that we'll be keeping in from the old systems in the high new system, if you had me running the show, would be the 10 Commandments. Because off of those 10 Commandments, I can make 1 million more laws. And I'll never touch our children. That type of thinking, go on, study it. The moment you display that type of thinking, even if you don't act on it, even if you say that's what you like, you'll be facing your execution. If I run the show, I would not fuck with you. I just execute that. We don't need that type of thinking. I don't want to understand it. I don't want to even give you a chance. There's too many mouths to feed on this planet that we're not fucking working out that we've already got enough of. We're not doing them, feeding them right. Why are we going to fuck around spending all the money trying to work you out when you're clearly a fuckwit? You're clearly a busted unit. So we'll change you like a light load and put you in the bin. Not gonna matter. You got another fucking 9 billion other dickheads out there the same way. Which one do you want to flash today? Doesn't matter. People reckon, oh, screw you can't, people can't, well, why is everything in that last bit of book about you dying? They're just being wiped out in massive amounts. That is how you're gonna get a disease. No, you put all your faith in all the fucking rest of the book. That's already fucking run its past. It's gone. Jesus is fucking gone. Noah's gone. Fucking Moses blood, Red Sea. That's all fucking gone. That's all over. Any in that part in that book that hasn't fucking gone is that Revelations. And some of that's already gone too. You just haven't worked that one out. That's that book's got fucking all to do with us. You want to keep fucking putting your head back in that shit, you'll end up bound back in the fucking past. Won't ever fucking go to evolution. You don't even know what evolution is. You have your head back up your ass in the past. Look at the fucking Revelations. That's where we are. That's where we're at. That's what we're facing. That's what we've got to do. That's got to do with us. Right? That's it. We're not going to Bethlehem. We're not got Jesus with us. We're not going to see the Red Sea parted. Fuck that book off. Get rid of your book. Look at the back there. See Messiah as the printing company. Because that's all that is for that book. Regardless of what you ever think. And if you really got no faith in God, you put your faith in that book, well, it's a magic feather. You can fly, Dumbo. Dumbo, you can fly without the magic feather. Right? I'll have you believe that you need that magic feather. You need that magic feather. You need it so badly that if you don't, you're going to burn in hell. And while you're going fucking on the way to heaven, before you get there, you've got to fill this collection plate up so I can go and wear that cashmere robe, put the gold embroidery up in my church, raise those little boys, and then we'll go and find out who's going to be a pope. The reason why it's a closed conclave is because we're doing a sniff on their fingers. That's how we do the test. And they smell how many boys they got in their fingers. Oh, he's got 8 boys. He's the pope. He's 8-boy pope. That one. It's happened all over the world. Happens every year. Those big cardinals, those Catholic priests, especially the Catholics. It's mainly the Catholics. Raping little boys, sexually interfering and destroying lives. What happens to them? Oh, he's got to do 7 Hail Marys. He no longer can run that church. But we were retiring him on that package because he owed us $128 million worth of their insurance for putting the fear of God in people. And they have to join our insurance company because God's on our side. And not on that other insurance company's side. It's got cheaper rates. Take all the money out of the Vatican. Like I said, watch the movie In the Name of the Rose by Sean Connery's in it. It's even got that guy, Hellboy, in it, from the original Hellboys. He plays a hunchback. It's a murder mystery, but it's also the true story of when all the churches come together at that time to discuss whether the church should have a purse. You see, most of the Franciscan monks and all the real ones, good ones, they didn't want that. They believed that Jesus didn't have a purse. Jesus didn't carry a big wallet around. That's why he chucked all those tables of money everywhere. Right? Jesus didn't have that. But the argument that the Catholic Church put up was it's not that if Jesus had a purse. We did rightly with it. The church should have a purse. Meanwhile, you had a murder mystery going on in the background. And Sean Connery, he was the one that was selling it. It's a very good movie. It's a very good movie. It gives you eyes open up. They're all about devils, men of religion. Be careful, because there's scenes in it that are very graphic and will make you cry. Like I said, men of church, back in the old Inquisition times, hunchback, you work out what happens there. When they can't find who's killing, who do you blame? You blame the guy that looks like the Elephant Man. That's like the Elephant Man. He was around the same time that Jack Ripper was killing people. You just happen to be walking down the street, and you even have this in the movie. This is a very famous part of the movie, a very famous thing if you know anything about the Elephant Man at all. Where they thought he was the Ripper, because he was a guy that got around with a bag on his head. They chased him, and they bashed him, and they were going to kill him. And that's when he shouts out, "I am not an animal." Yes, so they was going to kill him as the Jack the Ripper. Imagine that man's story. The Elephant Man. And then you got the Michael Jackson buying a skeleton like it's some sort of toy. The man suffered enough in life, he still suffers in death. There's some sort of display. They, if they wanted to do that, why don't they now go in with the 3D technology, 3D happen, like a plastic version of it, and put that one to rest in the grave, let the man sleep. He's been tormented enough, that man. You think about that. After you're dead, they take all your flesh off, and they auction your skeleton off around the world as an animal. The elephant man. Yes, maybe that's why sometimes I wear the mask. I had a bit of an issue like that when I was younger. I thought I was like that. But to get that, I know that I'm not, but at the time I thought I was. But to get that, that's just the way it is. But that's it. People got to look at that. Look at our humanity. Like how to carry on and carry that poor man's skeleton around on display and sell it off like it's some sort of priceless object. And all they could do is what God wants is lay him to rest. Now, what would you do if you found out, just say, lay that skeleton to rest? His soul can never go to heaven. Some religions believe that. My tribal people believe if you're not buried in a certain amount of time, if your ashes are not put in a certain amount of time, the soul never goes anywhere at all. And you waste that chance of that soul, of that energy going back into the earth, or going back into nature. Trees, the trees. Trees are your ancestors. Treat every tree like it was your dead ancestors. Trees absorb everything, absorb the nutrients from the ground and anything from the air. So any spirits are out there, they can be absorbed by trees. And the trees are your ancestors. They give you life, give you food, they give you oxygen, and they can give you shelter. Trees are life givers. Without trees, the world wouldn't be quite as evolved as it is. We wouldn't be breathing as much as we do. Most of the oxygen comes from the sea, from the algae in the sea, and we're slowly fucking that up. We're fucking up the oxygen generator. Inside, that's the life generator. Everything comes from the sea. You know, these guys have got to understand. You know, a fish's semen and a man's semen, a fish's egg and a lady's egg, under a microscope, pretty much the same at a certain point in life. It's only when it starts to change you see the differences. Sperm travel in a fluid. And this is a fact. This is why you very rarely find a female sewer worker. And if you do, she's wearing a rubber suit that's got a seal right up, especially in the private region. Because semen outside of the body can live anywhere up to 72 hours to 90 hours outside of the body. As long as it's got a lukewarm or warm fluid environment, which is rampant down there, all the hot water showers, everything like that, that water stays very warm, stays very insulated down there. So anyone that's played with himself, injects down the toilet, that sperm can swim along, and a woman's sewer worker happened to be in there and didn't have the proper stuff on, there's nothing stopping that sperm swimming up her vagina and impregnating her and giving the lady a sewer baby. And that's why you find a lot of women are not allowed to work in sewers around the world, not unless they wear the full protection, because of that factor. Because that is a possibility. It can happen. Whether it's happened or not, another story. that could actually happen. Okay? Your seaman, you talk about mermaids. Well, maybe someone's been going down the sea and playing with themselves in the ocean. Sometimes that's just the right temperature for sperm to live in it for 90 days. And it can inseminate a fish's egg. So you can get something that grows half fish, half man, if it's compatible. Some of it really is. Our connection to being fish, the bones in our ear, the same bones you have in gills. And when we're a baby, that's open. We're breathing through that in the embryonic fluid. It goes up 4 months. You start off as a tadpole, start off like a fish. Everything goes back to the water, to the fluid, to the ocean. You understand that one? It's where all we come from. The ocean, the oceans of life. Without that ocean, this life, we wouldn't be here. So everything's got a part, the way the sand is, the way the ocean is, the way the weather is, the way the earth is. Everything's got to be in the right tune to have the amount of life that we've got. And now we're fucking it up. We're fucking the tune up. We even change the tune. We don't even know what hertz the tune is no more. Because the hertz that they tell you is the wrong ones. The ones they want to tell you is got the wrong reverberation. We need to get back to the right one. Simple as that. But that's just the way it is. Okay? I know I'm rambling on, but everything I'm saying has got a bit of a point. Everything is actually true. It's quite real. I mean, I was talking to her. She can't quite handle it yet. She knows. She does know. Won't accept it as much. She does, but she doesn't. About what I have to face every morning. What I have to go through. What I have to think about. I don't think anyone's got that sort of thing to think about. Not for a long shot. But I've got to think about that every day with all the rest of the hassles that everyone else has, especially as a single parent too. So if I seem a bit off tack, well, fucking gee, sorry, I'm very sorry about that. I'm not really, it's just, I'm not crazy. Like I said, I just got to deal with the most craziest situation you can possibly imagine. Sounds right out of the universe, I know that. It sounds crazy. But it's real nonetheless, and I just have to deal with this real crazy situation. Which is that crazy, it makes me look crazy. But it's not actually the fact that I'm crazy. No, it's just a really crazy thing I have to deal with. I mean, not everyone else say, well, I got this story, I got these magic stones, and fucking can destroy all life anytime it wants. I chased down a dragon and tamed that. And they use that to fucking ride it, or use it and help it and free it and all kinds of things. There's always, you know, you don't have this type of things. You've never even heard these type of things unless you're reading in a fantasy book. And that's where people think, well, he's off his head. That's not real, that doesn't exist. Well, the letter from the government I received sure as hell does. And they would never have sent me such a thing if I was ever a liar. In any mannerism. They wouldn't even do it to humor me. Okay? They wouldn't even acknowledge me at all. They wrote me off as some sort of psycho. We get thousands of them. Chuck it in the bin. Being a politician, being prime minister. Imagine the trolls that guy gets. You think Jab gets trolls? You think about some of these leaders out there. How they get trolled. Trolls everywhere. Well, I've been on an hour and a half. I've got the things up. I go for supper. No moving, head too much. For mass to carry intimidation. The head movements need to be minimal. I am not trying to intimidate you. If I was trying to intimidate you, the mask would have blood coming out of the eyes. When I took it off, you'd realize I'd cut off my own nose. Then I would intimidate the fucking shit out of you. Right? And then I really come at you like I was the death. That's what you want. You really want intimidation? I don't think you should be talking like that. When it sounds like you're just trying to intimidate me, in a sense. No, I'm not trying to intimidate anyone. I've got the mask on because I worked out something about the YouTube algorithms, and people don't want to accept that. Well, maybe I should show you what I mean. Maybe I should give you Archangel Michael as the sock, and I'll just get a sock with eyes on it and some wings, and you'll have to accept that's Archangel Michael, okay? Because the sock will be telling you it is. They even talk the same, everything, but you'll just see a sock talking like that. And you know that sock, you'll be able to get away with saying anything. It never gets sanctioned. Never. Because if you want to be crazy enough to sit there and listen to a sock, cuckoo. You understand? Even though the sock might be telling the truth, might be giving you the Lord's Prayer, might be saying as Archangel Michael, it's still a sock. It's like me. Like you said, oh, you want to be intimidating, stop moving your head around and everything like that. No, so you like to see like say, I'm going to be intimidating like I expect in all the Hollywood movies. I'm going to be exactly the same because that's all I expect in life. Everything has to be a boring, dreary, same process. I don't know anything about intimidation. You have to sit here quietly and not move your head. No, I think you should be intimidated by someone like me moving my head around. It means I've got a lot on my mind. It means if you intimidate me, I might do something very bad to you. Right? That's intimidation. You really want to intimidate things? No? That's the truth. Think that one through. You know? Intimidation. Fucking hell. Are you talking to me about intimidation, guys? Come on now. I just got forgiven by Gordon, basically. And I was intimidating them with an axe. Come on, you want to go back in the chat, go back into my lives. See, you want to see intimidation? You want me to go back? This guy wants me to go back to intimidating people. I'll pull out that. This tomahawk's right over there if you really want me to. I got the sword over there and the bow and arrow. I'm a good shot. You won't get away from me. Well, you finished or something. Finish. No, mate, I'm actually Australian. The voice I'm putting on is quite a fake one. Archangel Michael's voice is something that I can do. It's not something that I am. No, mate, I am an Australian. I speak like an Aboriginal person if I really want to. Take her right out the bush there, man. We'll go right out the bush there and we'll find those lubbers. Me and you'll have some fun with those women. We'll get that drink and we'll sit back in the long grass. Get drunk, eh? Me and you. Then we'll go and flog that bloke down the road and steal his woman. Want to do that, but? Yeah, not me and you. See? So, there you go. People like the Archangel Michael's voice. I know they do. But finish, yes, something like that. A bit finish. With a bit of Dracula style. You know, something that sounds like I am not that way in Europe. But I'm not. I'm born in Australia. I have an Australian accent. This is something I can put on. I could do a few voices if I really want to. You know, that's about it. But yes, this is for YouTube. And let's put it this way, it sounds intimidating. So, moving my head around, I think I can be intimidating with my voice all on its own. Well, this is the non-intimidating Archangel Michael that started off intimidating people with an axe, so he doesn't know what intimidating is, but I do. Going off, signing off, finishing. I'm expecting my nephew probably to come through the door. What? What's the time up there. Oh, see, we're going slow. Whatever it is, 12 o'clock. Didn't get as fast that one. Can you do Southern U.S. accent? Well, me and Paul, we were down there all sitting by me and Paul on the bench, and we're sitting there watching out over the cornfield, waiting for dinner and all. And then we're seeing this white vehicle type of thing that we couldn't quite describe come down out the sky, back the field, landed in front of us. Me and Paul, we were sitting there, we're looking. I said, Paul! I said, well, what's that out there, Paul? It's a light of some sort of vehicle. A vehicle? Yeah, a vehicle. Oh. And you know what it was? It was aliens. Oh, Paul, it looked like no big old alien there. I see the alien there, Paul. What you gonna do, Paul? Get the gun, Paul. The alien coming here. And the alien walks up, gave him a chicken. Pissed off. There you go. That's South enough, America, for you. Or you really want me to go South America and start speaking Spanish like Brazilians? Or Argentinian? Because that's South America too. You gotta remember, America is not just America. That's the Americans, South America and North America. You're the USA, United States of America. You're a bunch of states that joined up in America. Technically, if you really wanted to be a full USA, you'd get all the states to join you. You're trying to get, you're trying to take more of the king's land, technically under the rule of sale. That's why you've got that gun law in America. Totally illegal. America is actually totally illegal when it comes to rule of sale. Shouldn't even exist at all. We should be under the British monarchy, like Canada. That's why all your presidents have to find that they have to have a bloodline connected back to that royal line from England to even be the president. Only 2 of your presidents in your entire history don't have that. The rest of them, they're all family. You know, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. They're cousins. 4 times removed. Biden and Trump, cousins. 4 times removed. They're all related. All your politicians that are at the top, that have become president, are related. They're family. They're a family. They've got the same bloodline connected back to the King George bloodline from England. It's the only way you can ever be selected to be one. You have to have that in you. Only 2 never have. You look at it, look on the internet, see the research, it's out there. George Bush Sr., when he died, he let them all know. At that funeral there, he left a letter under everyone's fucking seat. And he said during his eulogy, got that letter out. Everyone pulled the letter out and had a look. You know what it said on the letter? You better change your ass. You better do something quick. Bring in a new world order. Because these people know our secret. They know. Okay? So get ready. That's how bullshit America is. It's an illegal country by rule of sale. It doesn't exist. Should be under the British yoke. That's why you had that blue war. That's why you got those gun laws. Simply so. And what do you say? Oh, you want the King of England to come in marching around telling us what to do? Because he's allowed to. Technically, by the rules of the world, he should be allowed to. Right? You should have no president at all. The King of England should be running you. By true law. But this broke that law. You don't accept the law. No, we don't want that law. We're going to follow our own rules. It's like down here. Our federal law courts, the main law courts in the land, that nothing can be overturned once it's been done. Said you have to give the land back to the Aboriginal people. That's the law. Our government said, no, we're not changing the balance of power. No, we're not doing that, Johnny Howard. We're overturning that rule. Government cannot overturn that court rule. But this one did. They cut that out. They come up with their own bullshit native title crap, which is totally 100% in their favor. It leaves us with fucking nothing. Just a bit of paper that says, well, that's, you used to own that land. You can claim that you used to own it. We stole that now, that's ours now. Oh, we got the rules in the world that says we're supposed to do it back. But because we're white and you're black, sorry about that. And then we're going to have in the future, when you really should be written into our constitution, we're going to make that this yes thing. And even the guys that are running it, saying, yes, vote this, they was fucking against it. That's the whole reason why they ran it the way they did. They never defended it enough. And Australia showed its racial way. It even got 75% of the Aboriginals put their head up their ass and voted against their own self. Fucking hell, I seen that was the golden ticket. That was the golden ticket. I had a golden twinkle in my eye. But they didn't see it like that. Because in our constitution, whether they like to think so or not, this is how fucking stupid my country is. Everyone in it. Everyone in it. Constitution we got to exist has got a policy in it. But the government, whenever it wants to do this, it choose a minority part of that society and do whatever it wants to it. We're all minorities in society. People say, oh, no, you're not. You got no. All those people aren't white, you know. They'll start fucking doing this to you. Oh, we're white. No, you're not. You're Italian. You're Greek. You're English. You're French. That's who you are. You're a minority group. We can minoritize your white cunts too. We got you sorted out. Don't think that you're in charge. Okay? Don't ever think that. You want to pull that fucking chestnut. No, they got it rigged up that they can turn any one of us from any part of society as the minority, and the government's got a policy, can step in and do whatever the fuck it wants to you. And it does. And it took our land away from us. Law that's supposed to be a law, overturned that law because we just don't like giving you the money because we're a racist bunch of dogs. Pretty much. Right? Simple as that. We're just not doing it now. We're not going to follow the laws. So that's the government. That's it. The Liberal Party should be disbanded and should never exist because they broke the fucking law of the whole system of fucking democracy. But they can do that anytime they want. As for America, well, your system's fucked. Whether you like to think so or not, no matter who the fuck you vote for, they're all related. They all got the same bloodline back to the same king. They're all fucking related, you idiots. Look at history. You've got to sit there and go, it's real. I'm an American. I found out it's real. You're related. It's another election. I'm still not going to do nothing. I'm just going to keep doing this and wait for my Uber Eats. What are you doing? You'll be dragging around the street with a fucking beetle cut in the chin right now. What this is bullshit. We've just found out that this all fucking land road. There's none of your opposition. It's all been crap right from the day get-go. What the fuck have you been doing? Why are we even let that function? Why are you even letting that function? Why is that even functioning? Why are you even America at all? What's going on there? That's been exposed as known as true fact, as true real thing. They got the connections all over the fucking internet. They haven't taken it down there. They haven't claimed it as bullshit. Hasn't been disbanded, hasn't been put in the news. You haven't seen it because they know it's fucking true and they're not going to fucking tell you the truth. Because you're wool blind. Right? You can have your two-party system, doesn't fucking matter. They're relations. What's the point of having a two-party system when they're cousins? Huh? That's the family. That's just the family arguing who's going to take over the shop. It's like Satan and God. That's the family trying to argue who's going to run the shop. Right? They're family. Right? They're not arguing. They're not fucking politicians. I laugh at you. You're just not listening. Every president you've had, bar two, has been related. Our relations to the next one, to the other one, to that one, to that one, to that one. In fact, the way they really work it out is not by your stinking votes, not by who you think want to win. That's all a bunch of shit in America. They can totally get rid of that voting process and still achieve the same result they do anyway. Not even what the Senate votes. That's not even part of it. No. They do a DNA test. And they make you look like you vote more for that one, and make it look like you vote for this one. But when you do that DNA test, if your bloodline's closer up the line towards that King George, well, you're the president. See, with Trump's and Biden's, the same. So that was a bit of a toss-up. But other than that, it's how close they are to the top part of the bloodline. Hillary, she might have been fourth cousins with Trump, but she was one bloodline under Trump, so she naturally couldn't become the president. But the funny thing is, the president, he's the best job. He's so good, your president. Well, he cannot get access to Area 51, even if his nuts depended on it. Even if he says, I'm Trump, and I'm going in there, he gets shot at the door. Sorry, Mr. President, you can't come in. If you try to force your way in, we'll shoot you. And he'll try and he'll get shot. He's not right in there. But Hillary Clinton can roll up in a fucking two-seater sports car. They say, "Oh, Hillary, come in. Aliens are being waiting for you. Don't say hello." She got full access. She's all about clearance. She got higher clearance than Trump. Trump will never get the clearance to go in there. He would never get the clearance to go in. He don't even have the clearance to walk into Fort Knox. Okay? That's your top job. He's supposed to be able to do that. He can't even do that. They won't let him do that. They won't let him walk into any of those places, no matter what type of president you think he is. It's about clearance. Hillary Clinton can walk into there anytime she wants. Trump can't. And he's your top dog. Biden can't. And he was your top dog. The one that wasn't even a top dog, he can walk in there anytime she wants. What she knows and what she cleared for that no one else is. Why is she allowed to go there? She never had the top job. You think someone that's got the top job in your country should be able to access that Area 51? There's only one person that's ever had the top job in your country that can access it. You know who accessed it? Ronald Reagan. He had full access. Because he didn't want to be. He had the bloodline, see? He didn't want to be president. He said, no, I like being an actor. Why would I want to fucking worry about politics? Because people like your message. You've got the bloodline that sits the bill. We can win. Beat that other party. With his other relative who use you. And you know what he said to him? Well, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to ask for one thing. And if it's not done, I'll expose everything. You'll have to shoot me like JFK. But if I'm going to help you win, be this president, which I don't really want to be, I want to know everything on my desk, everything you have. I want to have access to every place that you know, that we know about aliens. Anyone that, one as the president, went into the Oval Office, into his desk, sitting on the desk, with all those files, and all the access codes, all your alien technology, all those hidden bases. They gave it to him. He even gave a speech, that one speech, you know. We found out there was an alien race out there. When the Earth, when our differences down here disappear very quickly. True, all our bullshit that we got going down here, an alien race rocked up tomorrow. or to take the earth to war, that'll unify us pretty quickly. Right? We'll bark up against that. We'll come together quickly against that. But you got all them drones. They've actually got the technology and the skills to give us a fake alien invasion if they really want to. If they really want to, they could chuck us on a fake alien invasion. They've got all those drones. They've got all that fucking technology, lasers. They can make shit in the sky and look like it's there, but it's not. They can really fool the shit out of humanity. They've got the skills to do it. And maybe they will. That way they can say, well, we're under attack by the aliens. The earth has got to come under a new order, a one government, so we can defend ourselves. And then, just like Zelensky, they write themselves in as the dictator while the war is going on. All elections will be denied. There were no elections. Nope, no one else will be able to get in. You will have to do as we tell you. Only one leader, and we can't have any elections until we deal with the tyranny. And then after the tyranny goes away, you'll find you'll be in your new world order. This is like the next Messiah that comes. He's going to be fake. You're already praising up the fake one, Kendrick Lamar. You're already praising him up now. You're praising up a guy walking around imitating Jesus, singing like he was uninjured or unwhipped or untamed. No, he's having fun, running around, his mouth off, earning millions of dollars. But I am the Jeebus. I am here to save the injured. As long as he fucking comes out on stage, as long as that injuries, he's part of it. And he's a plant, and you're going to get the real, sorry, don't care if you like him or not. It's not a legend. It's not a legend. You might call Drake out. I'm calling you out. You're a plant too. You're just as bad. You might not have done bad things, but you're a plant nonetheless. You're helping them run it. You're part of the industry. They sign your checks. They wouldn't even let you out on the fucking stage at all if you weren't following the rules with them. Right? Not a fucking famous person out there that's got all this fucking money. They're so famous, they wouldn't have got there unless they're part of that system. And ever think that there's someone, you really want to know someone that's really not part of the system, but they still use that industry to sell the music? You want to know the most controversial band that's banned from most places around the world? The one that sings, yes, it's pretty heavy music, it's pretty rough, but the one that gives out the real truth is the band Rage Against the Machine. That's the only one out of everything they do here that's actually got the real message. Right? And they actually do something about it. So they get banned from ever having their shit aired or ever going around the world. No other one's banned like them. If Kendrick Lamar was like them, he'd be banned all over the place. If he was actually putting out the real good message, the proper message, try and bring down that industry and the evil in it, he wouldn't be making millions of dollars and being promoted and number one and dressing up like Jesus. That wouldn't be happening. That's happening because that's control. That's Illuminati, Luciferian, Satan. Nothing good about that, guys. When you see someone prancing out there, no matter what the fuck he's singing, no matter what his message is, he acted like Jesus. He was trying to act like the Messiah. He's not a Messiah. He's not a Messiah's part. He desecrated the Messiah by doing that. Running down. Messiah didn't do that. Messiah didn't come out singing like that. No, and then I get told this bullshit, his little plastic crap fucking crown that he had. The most expensive crown in the world. People will chuck that much money at that plastic bit of fucking $2 shop crown that he got in the $2 shop. You go and get millions of them in the $2 shop. They print them out in plastic. But the one he's got's worth billions of dollars because it just happens to be the fucking one that he played the Jeebus in. Me, I'd burn it, melt it on his fucking skull, throw him with a stick, get him out of the industry, and say, you're a plant just like every other cunt. Fuck off. That's all I care about Kendrick Lamar. Piece of shit. He's worked that out. He worked that out. And he's not like Jaguar right. So he's not putting out the message right. He's a plant. He's been getting fucking made to do that. They're training him to do that. They say we're going to have all these evil cunts in here, and we'll put one as a Jeebus. Oh, you're gonna have to be the sacrifice. The last time was gone, yeah, he went off his fucking head because he's a child rapist. Simple as that. Not allegedly, he's a child rapist. Burnt his own mum, killed her, let his fucking so-called Kardashian slut play the witch. Nothing but a fucking hoe. Anyway, she's famous. She's putting out that sex tape. So she's famous from depravity, and now look at her. Not a one that should have a meat hook under his chin, dragged out in the street, stomp on it, be done with it. Now, it sounds harsh. I don't really care. You found out what they really do, how really evil they really been, all the shit that they've really been up to. You should be doing this. See, God, he won't fuck around. They all think they're all pretty that God's gonna fuck around. That's why he trying to flush God down the gurgler so he won't fuck you up. Sorry. God is all caring. You show me in any Bible around the world where it says God cares. It actually says that phrase. God cares about you. Doesn't say anything about that in the book about that. Doesn't say anything about that. Doesn't say he's forgiving God. Doesn't even say he's a loving God. Right? You know what it says in that book about God? He's a jealous one. If you praise him up and do it his way, you'll get jealous over that. Being the divine creator and the divine power, he just put you wherever he wants. You won't be in heaven. Think that one over. You know? When you start really trying to get the concept of God, put really God into your mind, really start to think like God, you understand. You know, it's not as Hollywood, not how they carry that church. Oh, they've got you so fooled, the church. Got it all like this here, all nice and everything. And the Vatican is nothing. Any church is nothing. Nothing like heaven is. Nothing like heaven ever will be, or ever has been, or ever even concepted of. That's the man's concept of finery and embroidery and witchery and nicery. You know, that's not God. God fucking doesn't have any of that shit up there. That's more beautiful than that could be. But I'm not going to tell you what it looks like. But it ain't like that. Nothing like all that bullshit. All that symbols, imagery, which he teaches you in that book not to follow. But those men of God, the so-called God, will teach you, we must have all this. We have to have it. Why? So they keep your mind bedazzled. Look at that. Look at all that God stuff in there. Look at that Sistine Chapel. Look at that. Look at all the old globe. Look at the God stuff. Not a single bit of fucking God stuff there. Nothing there is God. Where is there God? Oh, look at all that religious stuff. God, my God, what a piece of shit. If you're really a man of God, you really want to be God, all that bullshit, all those high prices, all those billions of dollars, that right there in that one little picture, there's $1 trillion there sitting there looking at you. Sell it. Pay everyone's food. Pay everyone's rent for a year around the world. That's what God wants. Don't you think that sounds better? You think God wants those men? No women. Women are allowed to get the Pope. Women are allowed in the conclave. Not even probably very lucky that they even allowed in the Vatican at all nowadays. They used to be. Women were banned from God. You're banned from God. So forget this nonsense about them churches and that fucking got the woman out for fucking no. They in that book there. They follow that. In that book there's only one woman that's really good, and that's the one that gave birth to Jesus. The rest of them, they run you down like a bag of shit. That's what they think of women in your churches. That's what they think of women in those religions. They don't want women there. They want Satan's way. They want man. They want the manipulation. That's why they take that vow of silence and then fuck little boys. Think about it. Come on now. Get with the program. They're trying to write you women off the book. They've been trying to write you off as the bad guy ever since. Ever since they reckon you gave Adam the apple. Oh, we'll find out from God that that book is totally wrong about that part. It's totally wrong. That's just how they want to run it. That's how man wants to run it. That's how they want to run it. You think you won't believe that I have to chase the dragon out there. This is a real thing I've got a receipt for. But you'll believe a snake come down a tree and gave the woman, hey, have this apple. This is God's special apple. You have this one. Yeah. So the snake could talk to the girl and give her an apple. Think about it now, come on. Think about it. You seen a snake crawl down of a tree and talk to you? The snakes crawl down out of trees and talk to people. You know? Oh, but that was Satan taking the form. Why is it always going to be Satan taking the form? Why couldn't it just be a snake that talked and was an evil snake? And just heard about these things and just did it. That's more likely what happened. No, it's always going to be Satan, 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 Satan. They keep you running on that there. So you don't think about that hell is man that does most of these things. Whether they've got Satan inside them or just a man inside them. Man is responsible since the days of Noah. He gave Noah the opportunity. It's what people get those 40 days and 40 nights from. He had that long before they start running out of food. About that big, all those animals on it, you only can store so much food. They had 40 days worth. After the 40 days, all these things that God got him to save, including themselves, if it didn't find land, start disappearing from existence. Because the only way that those people would have survived with no food on the boat was to eat the animals. Maybe even eat each other at the end. But they would have died. The boat would have sailed on through those 40 days. If he sailed on through the 40 days, that's what the whole meaning of that 40 days is. Not what you're reading it as. Not like he out there for 40 days, God for 40 days. Not no. You've got 40 days worth of supplies, Noah. If you don't fucking find land, well, life is going to be gone. And that'll be you. Because I'm infallible. I'm God. I can't be blamed for this, even though I'm the one that did it. Because he realized how much of a bad thing it was, how he nearly wiped life out, how he was going to blame poor Noah. Put all the blame on Noah because he's infallible. He worked out for us. Hang on a sec. Who am I going to be infallible to? Life's just about to be extinguished. Who's going to pray to me? Nobody. So God will become a nobody. So he'll be infallible because he doesn't even exist in anyone's mind. So, so he wouldn't do it again and fuck up that badly again and really fucking wipe us out. He can punish us in that, but he'd nearly wipe us out. He puts up the rainbow to remind himself not to ever do that again. I nearly fucked up. I nearly got rid of my own self by wiping out life. Because then there would have been nothing to pray to me. You understand that one? And then I'll be no different than my son by destroying all life and recreating it in another image when I've created this one in my image now. That means that's admitting that I was wrong with this first image I had. And God is not wrong. Make any sense to you? God is not wrong. So you got to figure it out every which way it goes. God can't be blamed. Can't be blamed for anything. He's infallible. That's why it's man's hands on it, guys. Because if God's hands is in this, well, you're to blame God when the ghost sits up. And you wouldn't love God, and God wouldn't only be to God because we're writing out of our minds and hearts. So it's not God. It's man. Man's going to take the folly. Man will take the fall. Man will take the blame, not God. God's not to blame. That's why he put it in. He's a smart God, see? He knew this was going to happen. Anyhow, things he knew how to get himself infallible, so no one can't be blamed. Not can't fucking blame me. I'm your God. It's not me. I gave that chance to you to do. You fucked up, not me. Don't blame me. See how he's good? See how you got it worked out? You got to be worked out. You don't start working it out that you're got to start following him a bit more. You're going to work out that, well, what a waste of time your entire existence was. That's it. You got to work that one out. Unfortunately, we have to work that out. Well, I've been on over 2 hours and 10 minutes. Right, believe, Jag. Yes, just one. Two sides, two sides of the same coin would be better than a metaphor. Wow. But that's not just the case. That's just the way it is. See, that's just logic thinking. Doesn't need to be anything about fucking God or what's in that book. That's just plain logical thinking. You got a boat. It's only so big. You got all these fucking animals on it. Where's your food coming from? How much food? You gonna pluck food out your ass, or is that dove gonna bring enough food back for everyone to eat? Where are you getting your fucking food? There would have been no fish because the oceans were all stirred up because of the flood, so they would have been down deep, not fucking getting coming or nothing. Okay? When they run out of supplies, they're gonna want to eat. What are they gonna eat? The animals. Animals that they were supposed to save because they are life. So life would have slowly been extinguished. If he didn't find anything after that 40 days, he was never going to find land. And they would have ate our way out of existence. But they were lucky to find it. Okay? That was just luck. It was luck. First they were sending the crow out. Crow got very tired. Couldn't find that little olive branch. So it was a crow. He wasn't fucking relying on no dove. That was just the fucking luck. That was just pure luck. Pure luck. Nothing to do with God. Nothing to do with humanity. Nothing to do with peace. Nothing to do with fucking anything like that. Just a lucky pigeon. Humanity exists because of a lucky pigeon. Because it found land. And it took him to that land. Life survived. Because of a lucky pigeon. Or a dove. Lucky. Very lucky. Before that, it was the crow that was doing all that. You know, the black crow that you put on the fucking bad guy. And this black crow, obviously a witch. You know, that was the one that busted himself until he was that fuck trying to save life. He just couldn't do it no more. I'm just tough. I'm laying here and he died. That's the crow dies. Trying to save his life. They don't tell you that part. The crow dies. And they looked and they didn't know. They didn't even know that doves could do this shit. Whatever released the dove, well, every time they release the doves, they fuck off and never see him again. Well, that's all we've got. So they sent out the dove. Just so happened to found land. Out of luck. Not out of design. Out of luck. So we're lucky to be alive. Simple as that. When you start to work out that one, put all your faith in this and that, and it'll fucking put your head into the fucking realness of it. If you was on that fucking boat, only certain bigs, only 40 kilos this way, that way, and all that, it's only a certain size he built the camp. So we told him the pattern that's going to put this many animals in it, and it's going to hold 40 days worth of supplies. After that, well, that's your final land, you're fucked. Have it your Holly way. Have it your Hollywood way. Have it your book way. Have it like the priest. Oh, hello. Oh, no, you got to do this. I'm God. And no. It was pretty much like I said it. God said, look, but you got 40 days. Once that food's out, you'll start eating off life and you'll fuck up the whole system for me. And you speak like this too. He speak like I speak. He's like us. You read that one. God made us in his image. So he'd be sitting up there. He could swear like us too, you know. He'd be carry on like us too, you know. Look at this fucking stupid human race. I've given them plain, simple, big rainbow to let them know that it's in their fucking hands, and they just keep fucking it up. Archangel Michael, I'm going to put you in the soul of a man. You're going to go through some shit, but you may have to punish the shit right out of him, because at the moment, I can't get myself in anyone here. They'll probably sell it off and make themselves money. I know you're strong enough, you'll do the job, whether it's bad or good. And there you go. There you go. As simple as that. Most people, if they had what I had the knowledge of what I had, they would have sold it off, be sitting back and sold everything to Satan and being evil. Not a man in the world can be trusted with what I got. I think money and profit straight away. Okay? They wouldn't last 5 minutes with what I've got. I gave them the opportunity, what I've got in my pocket, they'd sell us out straight away with a good life. I could have a good life. I could be sitting back with fucking $4 billion in my bank, not caring about anything in the world. But I have no soul. But you're quick to sell your soul. Oh, that guy, they're the stands, they're not that. I'll sell them yet. And then just the end of that, you fool. Well, can't be trusted. I took that to my sister. I said, you deal with hundreds, millions of men. Some of them got some very bad things that they got to deal with. Now, I ask you, has any of those men told you that they can take you out to try and catch and tame a real dragon? Did any of those men talk about having these pieces that are so evil, powerful, they actually are the one, two pieces that are supposed to destroy your life? Who has the potential to do it? In an ordinary man's hands, it's got nothing to do with any government, not signed up to any policies, any police forces, anything like that. Not even a regular person that goes to the church. But that power is in my pocket nonetheless for 28 years. You know, I have that ability. It really is a real thing. I cannot make it go away because you don't believe it. I cannot make it stop because you don't want it to happen. I can not make it, I just can't change it. I can't change what actually is, guys. I really want to. I don't want it to be this way. I give it to you, trust me. I don't want to be like this at all. But it's time the world knows. It is time. If you're going to change, you're going to have to get punished. As simple as that. And you might not say, oh, we're not going to do it. Who says we have to do it your way? Well, I do. I got the shit in my pocket to really shine you on. Every time that happens to me, I don't believe, why do we have to do it? I actually feel like pulling it out and showing them. Well, I'm just about ready to shut down because this is about to shut my battery down. At 2%, I've got to go, guys. I will see you later. Thank you for coming here and listening to me. Get a bit of, basically, you're helping me a bit. There's a bit of therapy. Get a bit of stuff off my mind. Makes it easier to try and make the decision to be good, to do the right thing. So, I'll catch you next time, guys. God bless, and I'll see you later. Thanks for coming to the Archangel Michael's chat. 1% energy. Bye-bye.